Hi, welcome back. I'm going to show you guys something that has completely changed how I use my OneNote. It's very helpful, particularly if you have books that are online. Some of our books have like an online component in addition to the paper. Otherwise, you can buy your books electronically just and have digital copies of everything, which I'm kind of trending towards, and I'll show you why. One, you can put them in here so that you can, into your OneNote, so you can read on your OneNote in like on your iPad or however you choose to do that. Sometimes you can even do it on your phone. And then you can also make notes and highlight and everything that you would typically do in a standard book, paper book. But this way is kind of easier to use, especially if you end up either copying and pasting stuff, or if, like many of my classes, you have questions at the end of the chapter that you want to like go over in like group discussion or with your study group. So this makes it really easy to do that. So what I'm going to show you today is what's called the OneNote Clipper. So I'll show you, first of all, here we are in OneNote. I'm going to do civil dispute resolution today. It looks like I've got chapter 9 is the chapter that I'm going to be looking at. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up, I'll show you how to get OneNote Clipper first, and then I'll show you what to do with it. So I'm going to open up the web page, onenote.com/clipper. And I'm using Chrome, and I believe this is the only one. You may be able to use it for other iOS or, browsers, but Chrome is the one that I typically use anyway, so it works out great. Basically, you can just go ahead and click on Get OneNote Web Clipper for Chrome, and if you've ever used extensions of any sort, you know how this works. I already have it downloaded, so you would just click on Download it and go through that process. And I have it starred or pinned, so I've got it right up here. If you can see this really tiny one here, it says Clip to OneNote. That's the extension that I'm going to end up using, so in order to do what we're going to do today. So I have one course book for civil dispute resolution that is online, and so what I will do is I will go out here, and you can see here's the chapter, and it's got all these great graphics and all these things. It's a little harder for me to use online, studying online like this. It's not my preferred method because I like to make notes and things. So what I can do is I can actually get this imported into OneNote so that I can do that. The way it works is this, and it's pretty simple, so pay attention. Here we go to the extension here. It'll open up this little thing, and it'll kind of circle around for a bit. You are going to have to tell it where to go, and it will connect with your OneNote with your subscription, so you would sign in. I want to get this whole thing, so right now it's on this option of full page, which is basically what's on my screen. You could also do a region where you kind of like drag a selection and do it that way, but what I'm going to do today is article, and what that's going to do is it's going to grab everything that is part of this quote-unquote article, in this case a chapter. And then you can change, you can do it in serif, you can do bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do. And then what you're going to do over here is under location, because you've already logged in with your OneNote, which it'll ask you to do when you first sign into the OneNote Clipper. You can actually choose where you want this article or this chapter to go. For me, I'm going to go to civil dispute resolution, and I want it to go to my week 4. Which is, as you can see here, I've got my weeks already in because I already pre-set that up in like 4 videos ago. So I've got my week 4 ready to go. So I'll go week 4, and then I will hit clip. And then it's clipping the article. Again, like I said, that's the chapter. And once it's done doing that, we can go over to OneNote, and then we can take a look at it. One of the things that I love about this is, like I said, I'm going to be able to do my notes and do what I need to do on it. So if we go over to OneNote here, we're in civil dispute resolution, week 4, weekly assignments, chapter 9 is what we're looking at here. So if you go down here, you'll see this is where the clip is. And so I'm actually going to relabel this. Let me see what chapter 9 is titled here. The general venue statute. Okay, great. So I'm actually going to retitle this chapter 9. The general venue, and I'll try to spell well, venue statute. All right, there we go. And now, as you can see, there's a link here to where I clipped it from, And then it even keeps like the page numbers, which sometimes is helpful if you're in class and they reference a page. It'll shoot that out. That'll give you an idea where we're at. And then basically here it is. This is all of the documents. It keeps the pictures, anything that's in there, kind of keeps it here. And then what you can do, like I like to do, is put on my ruled stuff, and then I can actually go in and I'll do it on the computer here, which isn't the best, but usually I'd be using my iPad for this. But you can do all your notes over here. You can do highlighter. You can highlight whatever you want. You can let me clean that up, because that's terrible. Nobody wants to see that kind of highlighting. But you can highlight however you want. You can do your notes in here. You can flag stuff, just like if you were to insert a PDF or a document like we talked about in the last video. So that's that. The other nice thing that you can do is actually go through. So like I said, for ours, we typically have these. You want to be in text mode to do this, just an FYI. So under draw, go to text mode. We typically have these kind of like questions at the end that we like to do is like in our study group. And so what you can do is you can actually just copy, and then I'm going to hit Command C, and then what I can do is I can stick that into my group work, which is where I will actually go over this stuff with my study group, and you can make your notes in here. You can type in your answers, do whatever you want to do in there. And it just makes it really easy to kind of move that over. It does do this weird thing where obviously these aren't 1, 2, 3, 4. They should be ABC, and you can change that pretty easily. You just highlight that, and you go over here, and then you click ABC, and then it'll translate those back into what they should be. So there are sometimes a few little like typo glitches like that, or sometimes it doesn't capture the whole thing, in which case you probably just need to go back in and download the parts that it didn't capture. But for the most part, by and large, it captures everything that you needed to do, and it works out pretty well, in my opinion. So that is how I use OneNote Clipper. As far as it's a free extension that you can add to Chrome, and if you have any questions on that, let me know. Otherwise, I learned about it from a video on YouTube, so that's where I learned about it. And honestly, it has kind of changed how I do everything this semester, because now I don't have to scan pages in, which is what I did typically prior to this. I would scan in pages, and which is fine, and you can do all of that. You'd insert them as a PDF and highlight them like you want, but scanning pages is obviously a little more difficult than just reading text straight from an electronic source. So, all right, that's everything. So, thanks, and talk to you later. Bye.